Streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and blasttheradio.com, this is The Lowell Green Show. The number to call and be heard around the world is 613-413-2217. Or email Lowell at blasttheradio.com. And now, here is Lowell Green.
Thank you, John. Thank you for playing Tom Jones, She's a Lady.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Brings back some memories. Debbie and I took in a show with Tom Jones at the NAC, obviously many years ago. And Debbie was shocked when a number of ladies in the front row took off their panties and threw them at Tom Jones.
Woohoo!
Debbie's only response was, "I'll never do anything like that," to which I said, "Certainly not when I'm around anyway."
Aw.
Those were the days. I don't think too many women are throwing anything at him these days. Anything you want to discuss today, folks? The lines are wide open. But, John, somebody's going to have to explain to me what in the world is going on in this province. A new poll just out indicates that the provincial Liberals and the progressive Conservatives are running just about neck and neck in Ontario. Conservatives, Doug Ford, slightly ahead, but not a whole lot. The Liberals, who drove this province into near bankruptcy, drove more than 200,000 good union-paying manufacturing jobs out of the province, left us with billions of dollars of debt, billions of dollars in gas plant scandals, billions of dollars in extra hydro costs to pay for wind and solar, and led by this guy, DeLuca. DeLuca was front and center with Kathleen Wynne during the great gas plant scandal, okay? So outrageous, I can't even talk about it. So DeLuca is there. He's front and center in the green energy, the whole business. He's the leader of the tiny little Liberal Party, or what's left of it. And one of the key members, John Fraser, Ottawa South, this is the guy that fought tooth and nail against Energy East, who prefers foreign oil to Canadian oil. Not only that, but John Fraser. Do you remember that John Fraser was the chief go-to guy, the chief fart catcher for Dalton McGuinty before he was elected? In fact, he was elected after McGuinty had to step aside because of, I forget which scandal it was now. There were so many. Then John Fraser ran. But John Fraser was his chief of staff. So John Fraser would have been involved in drafting the Green Energy Act, et cetera, and involved right up to his teeth or whatever it was in the gas plant scandals and so forth. And he's one of the few Liberal members. And these are the guys that apparently the majority, or almost the majority of people in Ontario want to return to power. Now, I mean, Doug Ford's made mistakes. Who the hell hasn't? But I mean, the fact of the matter is, and I've talked about this before, do the mathematics, do the checking, you will see that Ontario today, when it comes to the number of deaths per capita, hospitalizations per capita, and new infections per capita, leads North America. As far as I can determine, there is not another jurisdiction in all of Canada, and in all of North America for that matter, that is doing as well as we are in Ontario. So for all of his faults and all of the griping and complaining and bitching and so forth and so on, it turns out that Ontario has done very, very well, at least compared with other jurisdictions. Doesn't matter. The party that led us into bankruptcy and God knows what else, scandals and billion-dollar, the party responsible for your hydro bill, which is about double what it should be, apparently almost a majority of Ontarians want to return to power. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Love affair for Liberals. I mean, fallen in love with Trudeau. Scandal after scandal after scandal, corruption after nonsense after baloney and all the rest of it. Still in love with Justin Trudeau. Doesn't matter what he does. Still in love, and now and in love with the party that almost ruined them. And it's costing you, as I say, almost double what you should be paying for hydro. Cost many jobs, etc., etc. Uh, Trudeau is to a large degree responsible for the soaring cost of living, but I always still love the guy. I don't care. I got to pay $28 for a pound of steak. I don't care. I love Justin Trudeau. I don't care. I got to pay double what I should for my hydro. I did love DeLuca. I love John Frey. I love the Liberals. Ay, 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 ay. If anybody can explain this to me, I'd sure love to hear it. Oh my God. If anybody can explain this, please let me know. Okay? Because I don't understand it. On another issue. And John, just go through quickly how people get in touch with me. Okay?
All right. Yep. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, just post your comments. And what's that?
I was just going to say, by the way, John.
Yes.
Congratulations. My understanding is now you are the #1 radio star in Sarasota, Florida. Everybody over the age of 90 loves you. Right?
that part is true. Yes.
Everybody that loves Trump loves you. You're down in. I hope you understand. You're broadcasting in Sarasota and down in there. You're right in the heart of Trump land here. Okay?
I am, and luckily it's a music station, so I leave my politic conversations for this show.
Very wise. You may live to to do another program.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, thank you for those interested. And by the way, Deb, who listens to your show, actually texted your number to say that she was listening to me on WSRQ Sarasota today. So
who did that?
Awesome. That was Deb. Deb. You know that name, Deb? Not your Deb. No, another Deb.
Oh, okay. Because Tom Toomey, who's a neighbor of mine, was the first one to text her, right?
Yep.
He's celebrating a birthday.
He is a milestone birthday over the weekend, and so we wished him a happy birthday, second or third break in today. Anyway,
he's in Sarasota. He's
right there.
Harry have a place there, yeah.
Yep, in
Bradenton. So he was the first one to tune into your new program.
There you go, taking over the world one channel at a time. Eventually, we'll get a talk show for you down there, Lowell. Anyway, to get in touch with the show, thank you for that, by the way. To get in touch with this show, whether you're on Facebook or Twitch or Twitter or YouTube, wherever you post your comments, post them. We'll get them on the screen for you. I will read as many as I can on the air to Lowell. You can text us or you can call us, like Deb has, at 613-413-2217. That number is also on your screen. Or, if you'd like, you can email Lowell at blasttheradio.com. Back to you, sir.
As a lot of people do. Thank you. On a different topic, what do you think? I'm talking now to my listeners, viewers. Do you support firing healthcare workers who refuse to get vaccinated? There is another new poll out which shows that the overwhelming number of people in this province support just that. Suspending or outright firing, if necessary, any healthcare worker who refuses to become vaccinated. More than 80% of people responded to the poll said yes, absolutely. And there's no question, most Ontarians have lost patience with the few among us who still refuse to get the jab. There's a growing realization that until we have compliance rate in this province of close to 100%, we're going to never escape the COVID pandemic. It's always going to be with us. We're always going to be threatened by it. So, and increasingly people are saying that the excuses advanced by the anti-vaxxers, they're being dismissed by the great majority of Ontarians. How about you? Should an unvaccinated worker of any kind be allowed to treat patients in long-term care or even visit the room, which would include custodians, etc.? What's your view? Because the poll indicates people are fed up with saying, yes, fire them or suspend them until they get vaccinated. And what about public servants? As you recall, Justin Trudeau said that all public servants would have to be vaccinated. Actually, it turns out that about 2/3 of them don't. If you're a mailman or in the military, you don't, et cetera, et cetera. But there are some who are supposed to be vaccinated or lose their job. Do you support that? Are you getting fed up with those who refuse to do the right thing and get vaccinated? Is it time, in your opinion, to get even tougher with them? John, do we have any response to any of our topics as yet?
Yes, we do. Let me scroll up. We'll begin with what you're talking about right now, that being the vaccines. And Barb says, I do not support suspending or firing any healthcare worker. That's their right. Craig, of course, and he says, no
Okay, well,
surprise.
just a minute. So I've
Yep.
got to get this straight.
Mhm.
So you believe that an unvaccinated person should have the right to nurse your father or grandfather. You believe that an unvaccinated doctor should be able to operate on you. Is that what you're saying? Because that's what you're saying. If you don't believe that people who treat people in hospitals and so forth, healthcare workers, if you don't believe they should be vaccinated, then what you believe is that unvaccinated people who may very well be carrying the COVID, as we know it's highly infectious, just ask the Ottawa senator, so you have no problem with them treating your grandfather. Okay, go ahead, Craig, the same thing. I'm getting tired of the whole business here, but go ahead.
Barb follows up. She says, I do not live in fear, Lowell. Public servants have no means to require to be vaccinated. Come on. And she says, nope, this sickens me. Why not open a non-vaccinated area for patients as well?
Okay.
Craig says it does not get his support. No surprise, right? Let me see. If not vaccinated, regular testing should occur. That was a comment on Twitch. Chrissy says, not worth the risk, and especially for the employers, staff must be vaccinated. Kim, the military do have to get vaccinated or else face release from the forces. And Andre says, I have to get a third full dose in 1 week's time. Bob is in on Facebook to say, those who do not believe in the science of healthcare should not work in healthcare. Lori, simple, make vaccinations mandatory. Robert says the Ottawa Senators are all fully vaccinated. Suspend without pay.
This is one of the things that I think the media is doing a very poor job in reporting. Yes, apparently all of the Ottawa Senators, and there were 9 or 13 of them, came down with COVID. They tested positive, but they were all fully vaccinated. But as a consequence, they didn't become very ill. In fact, some of them showed no symptoms whatsoever. So what happens is that when we get the report and we see, oh, there's 450 people who've tested positive, who have not been vaccinated, but there's 200 and some odd who have been fully vaccinated and testing positive. Yes, what we are finding out with this Delta is that you can still test positive after being vaccinated, but very, very, very rarely will you be sick beyond maybe a slight bit of a cold or something of that nature. That's the difference. So and the great majority of cases, the vaccination will prevent you from contracting the disease. But if you do, and you may still, it will stop you from going to hospital. What we should be doing, instead of, I think, reporting positive tests, I think we should be reporting hospitalizations, because there you find that almost 90 to 100% of all new hospitalizations are among those who have not been vaccinated. And scary and very interesting, among the most frequent now that to contract COVID are those between the ages of 5 and 11. Children now who are testing positive form the majority. So it's good that they're going to be vaccinated. So that's it, folks. There's a big difference between testing positive, which many members of the Senators did, and actually being sick. That's what vaccination. If they won't prevent you from getting the disease, they will prevent you from getting sick with the disease. Go ahead, John, please.
Makes me crazy. People confuse vaccine with cure. It's not a cure. It's a vaccine. It mitigates it. Anyway, Craig is back to say, come on, less than 1% die from it, vaxxed or not. Kathy. So, Lowell, if that's the case... Hold on
just a minute. We have, so far in Canada, almost 30,000 people have died from it. But, I mean, what the hell, eh? 30,000, so what? Oh, go ahead.
Kathy says, so Lowell, if that's the case, then why are the vaccinated worried about the unvaccinated? Stop living in fear.
Oh boy. What are you going to do with these people? Go ahead.
Kids vaccine bookings open tomorrow. Let's see how quickly the website tanks. Tina Marie says, if someone refuses to be vaccinated, it ends up needing medical intervention. I feel they should foot the bill. Glenn says the numbers being reported are scare tactics. Craig's back to say, one of my clients tested positive and she became quite sick. She's fully vaxxed.
I don't believe, you know what? You see, I think there's a lot of lying going out there. The fact of the matter is that if you've been fully vaccinated, I guess very rarely you may become. What do you mean by quite sick? The fact of the matter is, and in the case, let's use the senators as an example. 13 of them tested positive. Not one single one of them showed anything. In fact, apparently the worst symptoms were that a couple of guys said that they lost their sense of smell and taste to a degree. So there are 13 senators who were fully vaccinated, tested positive. In some cases, even the testing positive is a little iffy. Is it really true or not? So that's it, folks. There's nothing that's perfect. Nope. There's nothing that's perfect. Go ahead, please.
613-413-2217. And thank you.
Could I just say something? You know what? If you're an anti-vaxxer, please don't listen to this show anymore, okay? I mean, we're all fed up with you. You're not, some of you people are good people, but you're so misguided. You're misguided. You're protracting the disease out here. You're costing us all a lot of money. You're costing us jobs. Please, I have no patience with you. I'm sorry. I am not magnanimous enough to wish you well. Just get lost, okay? Form your own little group out there of non-vax people. Join up with Randy Hillier or whatever it is. But please don't listen to this show, okay? And don't contact me anymore. I'm sick of you. Really, I am. Honest to God, I'm sick of you. Okay? Just get lost. You're harming the community. You're harming everybody. You're harming the country. Stop it. But leave me alone. Go ahead, John.
Craig says goodbye.
Goodbye.
Lori
Sorry,
says,
Craig. I mean, you're a great guy, but you're a pain in the ass with this vaccination thing. Okay? I mean, come on. Yeah, if everybody in this country was vaccinated, we wouldn't have a pandemic. We wouldn't have a problem. We'd all be doing normal things. We could all travel. We could do whatever we want. We wouldn't have to wear masks. You're the problem. Don't talk to me about me being the problem. You're the freaking problem. Go ahead.
Eric says bye-bye. Tina says, let them join forces with the flat earthers. Lori says, thanks, Lowell. I don't want to listen to them either. Terry says, don't let COVID hit you on the way out. A text from Deb at 613-413-2217. It's my right to have only vaccinated healthcare workers deal with my family, she says.
Thank you.
An email from Lisa. The address again is lowell@blasttheradio.com. She says, an unvaccinated person in any industry should be fired. I will never go to a theater or restaurant anywhere that's a crowd-based business because I don't know who is there and isn't vaxxed. I'm awaiting my third vaccine, she says. Ava agrees with you, Lowell. And yeah, there we go.
But the fact of the matter is, we've lost patience, okay? And it's sad because, there's some nice people. I'm sure that Craig's a great guy, but they're so, I don't know what happened to their heads in this. I mean, if over 56 million people have been vaccinated, have at least one jab in this country, and the number of problems, I have said this, in fact, don't believe me. Do the mathematics, do the checking yourself. There is more risk in taking aspirin than getting vaccinated for COVID. There is far more risk in taking the birth control pill than there is in getting vaccinated. Okay? Those facts are there. Those are medical facts. Check it out. Those facts are available to you. I'm so sick and tired of, you're listening to some obscure website from, Upper Rubber Boot, Saskatchewan, where some guy has discovered something that 7 million doctors and scientists and nurses around the world didn't discover. But after 20 minutes on Google, they made this great discovery that none of the other scientists or doctors or engineers anywhere in the world discovered. But they did it in 20 minutes on Google. Come on. Shields. I've got some very interesting news about Shields. I've talked before about their website. This is really a wonderful website. For example, doesn't matter what kind of an appliance it is, you can shop, of course, by the brand name. All the trusted brands are there: GE, Frigidaire, Danby, Haya, Electrolux, Silhouette, etc. Those brands are there. But you can also shop, for example, with refrigerators. You can shop by color. You can shop by design. You can shop by size. When it comes to microwave, you can even shop microwave by microwave wattage, shop by color. Dishwashers, you can shop by, hey, listen to this. Dishwasher, you can shop by noise level. The website assesses noise level of the various dishwashers, so you can shop by that, along with color and size and capacity and so forth. Um, you can shop by capacity, color, size. Air conditioners, you can shop by the amount of cooling air, the cooling power that for so this just to give you an example, all of this is available at Scheels SCHEELS.ca. Just click on appliances, and there you will see all of the appliances are there, the colors. And by the way, they're really heavily into air fryers. Air fryers are big news these days, and they've got some tremendous deals. Save up to $800 on some of the appliances. Shields.ca. Barry is back on the phone here for us. Understand? Go ahead, Barry, please. Go ahead, Barry. Nope, we've lost him. Let's move on, John.
No, he's there.
No, I can't hear him.
You can't hear him?
Nope, I can't hear him.
That's weird.
John, you got some more text?
We could hear him just fine. Sorry, Barry, if you could try back again. I don't know what happened there, but yes, we absolutely have some text comments. Used my air fryer at lunch, says Tina Marie. Okay, thank you. Maggie says, how many non-vaccinated people have their children childhood vaccines? Because I've never had childhood vaccines. I've had to be careful my whole life. She is allergic. Now, that would not qualify you as an anti-vaxxer. That gives you a reason to not have
Yeah, but just a minute. You may be allergic to some of the other vaccines that had egg product in it, but as far as I can see, as far as I can read, there are very few allergies involved with this latest vaccine. This is a totally different kind of vaccine. I think a lot of this is just excuses. Get vaccinated. Come on. Give us all a break. Let's get this thing over with. If we were all vaccinated, we could take the damn masks off. Go ahead, John.
We want to try Barry one more time. Barry, can you hear Lowell? Lowell, can you hear Barry?
No, can't. No, let's give it up, John.
All right, sorry, Barry. Sorry, Lowell. Okay. I don't know. That's weird. It's in my headphones. Let me see. Leanne says, nope, can't hear well. Thank you, Leanne, for confirming that. Okay, we're getting technical advice on the comments here. Here we go. Chrissy, if people do not get it by now, RE being vaccinated, they never will. It's up to us who are to keep doing what we are doing to stay safe. Let me see. There are no more tinfoil hats left at Loblaws, according to Terry. Thank you, Terry. 30,000 people. That is 30,000 families who have lost loved ones. When do we all do the right thing? Says Julie.
And then people phone and say, "Well, it's the death rate's only 1%." I mean, come on. I have another topic. We're almost out of time here. I'm going to stir up a little bit of a hornet's nest, but I've got to do it because I'm sure that these questions are uppermost in some people's minds, folks. And I just want, please keep in mind that this is just a question, okay? Series of questions. I'm not making any claims. I'm not even throwing any suspicion here, but I have to ask, do you believe that bribes or graft of some sort is involved in the awarding of contracts for our light rail system? It's obvious by now that everybody on City Council knew damn well that there were serious problems with the system before they accepted delivery. John, you have some proof of that. This is borne out by various written documents that have now been made public, that the City Council or City Councilors were forewarned by John Manconi, head of OC Transpo at the time, that there were some serious problems before City Council accepted official delivery. The fact that 13 members of council voted against a judicial inquiry also is cause for some serious questioning by some people. But aside from that, do you really believe in your heart of heart that somehow or other bribes were involved, that money passed hands here, or favors of some kind, that they were involved at some stage? Graft. Could it be that maybe personal favors were granted rather than due diligence by the city? Do you think that what do you think, that there was graft or bribes, or do you think it was just that we got a defective system here and no one really is to blame? In short, Do you think corruption of any kind is involved in any way with the awarding of any light rail contract? John, just give out the number once again. A very important question here.
Well, I'm not going to give out the number since the phone number's not working, so let's encourage people to post their comments on Facebook, on Twitch, on Twitter. Actually, here's the number so you can text me. 613-413-2217. 100% right now, Lowell, everybody commenting absolutely thinks that something is not right here. We also have a defective system, says Jody. Terry says, when you hear some dude doesn't want his email read or he would be screwed, come on, man, as Joe Biden would say. Definitely yes, says Maggie, on all Ottawa contracts with snow removal, towing, street maintenance, etc. A lot of it is who you know. Another comment coming in on Twitch. I'd like to think there was a bribe, but it's these people are just that stupid. We are doomed and they need to be fired. Without criminal charges, says David, we will never know. Absolutely to your question, says Catherine. Mike says, and they're taking over the comments when CTV or The Sun puts a statistic or something about COVID, and I can't even read them anymore. They make me so mad. Nikki, yes, but not just light rail. And, well, we will soon find out on LRT, hopefully. Absolutely, says Todd, especially with SNC involved. Yes, I believe that, says Jody. Gary says, absolutely. Eric says, I smell a rat. Yes, says Kath. Yes, says Lynn. Yes, says Terry. Absolutely, says Tina Marie.
Boy, that's I'm surprised. Let me just give you an example. I have a personal example in this regard. Many years ago, I was working for a furniture repair store. It was a part-time job in this city. And my job was to get major contracts, and I was working with government. The National Arts Centre decided to reupholster all of its seating, which is a major contract, a lot of money.
No kidding. Wow.
So I went after it, and we had the expertise. We could have done the job very well. So finally, I had to work to get the specifications, in other words, what they were looking for. When I began to read the specifications, I began to realize that there was only one company that could possibly follow all of these specifications. And there was no reason for the specifications other than to give obvious preferential treatment to this one company. I was in the National Arts Centre, and that was in the mid-'70s. So I've had some personal experience of how it works. I'm not saying that money passed hands here. All I'm saying is that the contract was very clearly rigged in favor of this one company. Why would you rig a contract in favor of one company? I never could get to the bottom of it. I demanded answers. I demanded meetings with officials. I could never pin anybody down for a meeting. I could never get an answer to anything. I got the runaround. It was unbelievable. One of the most frustrating experiences of my life. And all I can tell you is that a contract for, I believe it was about $3.7 million at the time, went to a firm that obviously should not have gotten it. Their prices were, the company I was representing could have beaten the prices. I'm sure could have matched the quality. It had exactly the same fabric, but we just didn't meet some of the qualifications. Nobody else could. Doesn't matter who you were. Unless you were this one company, because some of the specifications specifically referred to products made only by that company. So there's a personal example. Was bribery involved in this? I don't know. But I'm going to tell you, it sure doesn't look very good. And the fact that 13 members of council voted against a public inquiry or judicial, I don't like the sound of that either. It's going to be very interesting to see the results, folks. But I'm glad so many of you are expressing your opinion. Very clearly, there are a lot of people out there who think there's something pretty shady about this whole deal. Thank you all. We'll be back tomorrow.
The Lowell Green Show is seen and heard live around the world at 2 p.m. Eastern. Connect with us online at blasttheradio.com/Lowell Green. Can't join us live? Download the Lowell Green podcast. Available on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. Ask your smart speaker to play the Lowell Green podcast. This is a production of blasttheradio.com.